Hey guys, welcome back to another video. You already know who it is, it's your boy Football Hypes, and in today's video, we're going to be continuing with our Everton rebuild in Soccer Manager 2023. Now, if you haven't seen episode 1 yet, the link will be in the description below to that. But otherwise, before we get straight into episode 2, make sure you smash a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And do not forget to turn that notification bell on to never miss one of my videos. Otherwise, let's get stuck in. So now that we've got the second season underway, just to recap on the previous season, we got a third place finish in the league without any signings, which I thought was an unbelievable achievement. And we had a pretty insane first season. Now this season's going to be different. There's higher expectations, higher ambitions, and we 100% need to make new signings. And I think if we bring the right signings in, we could even challenge for the title. Not saying that we're going to win the title, but all we can do is hope. Now in terms of the Champions League, I think we need a solid Champions League finish this season. And if we win a domestic trophy, that would be great. But whatever happens, happens, right? So right off the bat, we're going to give some players new contracts. Now, I've given Mykolenko, Onana, Garner, Coleman, Ali, Townsend, and Maupay a new contract. So these players will be an integral part of our squad this season. I've also loaned some players out that could potentially be part of the squad in the next few seasons, including Braithwaite, Astley, Nkunku, Patterson, and Sims. Okay, so now that we've got that out the way, we're going to add some players to the transfer list because this squad is turning into an old age home. We're going to sell the players we no longer need and the players that are no longer good enough to play in this team. So we've added Begovic, McNeil, and Rondon to the transfer list. And in the reserve team, we also have a few players that we've added to the transfer list, mainly Gaberman and Gomez. They were out on loan last season and they're not part of the plans, so we're going to sell them. And I just thought I'd show you guys, it's not really important, but we have sold quite a few reserve team players just to clear the deadwood and free up space for some new signings. Right, so we've got to the exciting part. It's time to make some new signings. Now, obviously Connor Cody and Ruben Vinagre were on loan last season and they've returned to their clubs. So we urgently need a backup goalkeeper, a backup left back, a new right back, and a new right winger. So I'm going to go ahead, sign some players, and I'll be back in just a second. So I have made a couple of unbelievable signings and we're going to go through each of them one by one. So the first player we signed was Martin van der Voort from RB Leipzig for a bargain fee of 12 million. We signed him as a backup goalkeeper, so he won't be starting over Pickford, but we will start him in the domestic and continental competitions just so he gets game time. And I mean, he's only 21 years old and he's got a potential of 87, so I really think that he can grow into this Everton team. The next player we signed was Aaron Hickey from Brentford for another bargain fee of 10 million. We signed him as a backup left back to Mykolenko, so we'll be starting him in the domestic and continental competitions just like Van der Voort, but he's also only 21 years old with a potential of 95. Another very promising player with a great future at Everton. Now moving on to the more experienced signings. We signed Alvaro Odriozola from Real Madrid for a fee of 16 million, so he's going to be our first choice right back. And Seamus Coleman, yeah, he's ancient. He just doesn't have the legs anymore. He doesn't have the stamina to play week in, week out, so we're going to make him our backup right back. And last but not least, Dejan Kulusevski, who we signed from Juventus for a bargain fee of 22 million. He's obviously going to be starting on the right wing for us this season, and again, another superb signing. Oh, and I almost forgot about this guy, James Garner. So he was out on loan last season and we've promoted him to the first team this season just to give him a chance. He will be our third choice CDM. I mean, he's got a maximum potential of 91, so we'll see what he's all about. So he is like a new signing. Well, I think we've made some pretty good signings and hopefully they do the job for us this season, because if they don't, they're out the bloody door. Now finally, what do the board want from us this season? They want us to finish in the top 8 again for some reason. Very lenient. And they want us to maintain a profit of 10% for the season. Bro, I don't know how we're going to do that. We're down bad, bro. We're down minus 70%. So I don't know how we're going to get that right. But they also want us to sign 3 players under 22. We've signed 2 already, so I'll go sign some random free agent. Earn qualification into the Champions League within 3 seasons. We've already done that. To maintain a profit of 10% over 3 seasons. Yeah. 7,500 minutes of game time for players 22 and under. That's building up. All right, well, these objectives seem reasonable. Right, so now that we've got all that nonsense out the way, it's actually not nonsense, it's actually important stuff. So now that we've got all that important stuff out the way, we can get season 2 underway. And I think we're up against Fulham. Yeah, we're playing Fulham on the 19th of August. That is our first Premier League match. And what I'm going to do is finish up with these friendly matches and then we can get season 2 underway against Fulham. So the first game of the season is up against Fulham away from home, and this is a must win. We need the 3 points. There's no buts, no nothings. We have a better team than they do. I'm a better manager than Marco Silva, and don't look at that world-class elite thing. We're going to tactically outsmart Marco Silva. Just watch. We'll beat Fulham. What did I tell you, lot? I told you we'd beat them. It wasn't very pretty though. All 3 goals coming after the 60th minute, and then in the 91st minute, Neil Maupay scoring the winner. A world-class smash and grab. Maupay sealing the win and sealing the 3 points. Next up, we've got AC Milan in the Champions League, and this is where our Champions League journey starts. Just to show you guys what our group looks like, we've got Villarreal, Lyon and AC Milan, and this is one tough group because this group is insanely balanced. Like, anything could happen. So our first ever game in the Champions League is going to be a difficult one, and I'm not expecting anything wonderful because we are going into this game with our second team, so let's just hope they can do their best and maybe we can get a result. Somehow we end up beating AC Milan 2-1 with our second team at the San Siro, and we absolutely pummeled them with 19 shots and 8 on target, and we made some very crucial substitutions, Maupay and Townsend both scoring, getting us to our very first ever Champions League victory. Coming towards the end of the first half of the season, and we're up against Tottenham Hotspur, and this is going to be a very interesting game. We've obviously got Kulusevski playing against his old club, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not confident going into this game whatsoever. Our form's been very up and down recently. We could win this game, draw, or even lose, so let's see what happens. Neil Maupay does it again. We end up beating Tottenham 1-0, Maupay scoring a penalty in the 91st minute, but we absolutely played Tottenham off the park, got 14 shots, 6 on target. And I was just waiting for that goal, but as it started to edge towards the end of the game, I was like, nah, it's going to be a draw. But Maupay sealing the 3 points in the end with a penalty, absolutely brilliant. So we have made it to the January transfer window. We're at the halfway point in the season, and we've been doing exceptionally well. We're in a far better position than what we were in last season. We are currently sitting in second place with 52 points, 16 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss. 4 points behind first place Manchester City and 1 point ahead of our rivals Liverpool. So things are looking booky right now. And this time last season we were sitting in 5th place and we ended up finishing the season in 3rd. So anything better than 3rd this season will be an improvement. But I reckon if we remain consistent until the rest of the season, we could even go all the way. In terms of our fixtures so far this season, we've done very well in the Champions League, which we'll get onto in just a moment. Also, not to mention, we've beat Liverpool again in the Merseyside derby. I'm absolutely loving this. It's hilarious. Liverpool fans must be absolutely ripping their hair out at this point because somewhere in a parallel universe, this is happening right now. But we've been pretty consistent in the league, and I'd also like to add that we've made it to a Carabao Cup semi-final against Liverpool on the 17th and 31st of January. So I think if we go on to beat Liverpool, which I think we will, then I think we can go on to win the Carabao Cup. Now, in terms of the Champions League, we've done very well. We finished top of our group, and now we're up against Juventus in the round of 16, which is going to be a very interesting fixture. And Neil Maupay is currently the top goal scorer in the Champions League, and Demarai Gray has got jointly most assists in the competition alongside Lukaku, Cucurella, Nainggolan and Saiz. And speaking of top goal scorers, Calvert-Lewin currently has 21 goals and 20 appearances in the Premier League, and if he continues in this vein, he'll win his second Golden Boot 2 years in a row. So going through the squad here, doesn't look like we need to make any major signings. We have no severe injuries, and I think we'll wait till next season to continue to strengthen the squad. And the board seems to be over the moon with us right now. We're currently sitting second in the league, and we're working on the profit. We're still down bad, but we're working on it. And we've completed the objective of signing 3 players aged under 22. So things are looking pretty solid right now. So up until this point, there's been a lot of progress and a lot of improvements. We've done very well in the league, and we've done very well in the Champions League. And maybe we can go on to win the league or even the Champions League, maybe both. And don't forget, we're still in the Carabao Cup. So I'm hoping we can at least win 1 trophy this season, but we'll see what happens. There's still a long way to go, but let's get the second half of the season underway. To get the second half of the season underway, we have made it to a League Cup final, and we're up against Crystal Palace. We ended up beating Liverpool 8-1 on aggregate, 4-1 at home and 4-0 away. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to go and grab our first trophy in this Everton rebuild. Crystal Palace aren't a great team. They're in the Championship, and I think we need to take advantage of that. So let's go and get that League Cup. Guess what, boys? We have just won the League Cup. We've just won our very first trophy in this Everton rebuild. We absolutely steamrolled Crystal Palace 5-1, and this is the first trophy of many that we're going to be winning in this rebuild. And the League Cup is a great place to start. Next up, we've got Juventus in the second leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League. And we are going into this game 2-0 down. We ended up losing the game 2-0 in the first leg. And look, I'm not expecting to win this game. We've done very well up until now in the Champions League, and obviously we're going into this game with our second team. So whatever happens, happens. They must just give their best. And you never know, we might end up winning this game. So we ended up winning the game 2-1, but losing 3-2 on aggregate. The boys played really well. We came back from 1-0 down, and I'm not disappointed that we're knocked out. Of course I am, but I'm not at the same time because we never expected to win the Champions League this season. And Juventus are a really good team, and we mustn't let this result pull us down. We're in really good form right now. We've got momentum. We need to focus on the next game and try and get a win in our next fixture. Coming towards the end of the second season, we're up against Manchester City, who are 9 points ahead of us. Us and Liverpool having a boxing match for second. Now, we have a game in hand, and if we can win this game, we'll be 1 point ahead of Liverpool. So let's try and win this game. I'm not expecting anything too wonderful because this is Manchester City after all. So Manchester City gave us a proper spank. They right pulled our pants down and made us look like absolute tossers. 4-1. 4-1, you know. That's not a pretty sight. That's not a pretty sight at all. I think that's our biggest loss so far. But like I said before the game, I didn't expect anything too wonderful. And look what happened. So season 2 has come to an end, and I tell you what, we've had a much improved season, and I think it has a lot to do with the signings that we've made, and we've done pretty well in all the competitions this season. We finished second in the league with 88 points, 27 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses, and I believe last season we finished in third with 82 points, so there was a 6-point improvement this season. But the best part is, for 2 seasons in a row, we finished above our rivals Liverpool, and I absolutely love every moment of those Liverpool fans' tears. Now, in terms of relegation, Sheffield United, Southampton and Middlesbrough go down, so shame. Now, in terms of the Champions League, I think we did very well. We finished top of our group and we made it through to the round of 16 and then got knocked out by Juventus. And I wasn't too upset about it because we weren't too focused on the Champions League this season. So I think we had a good run and we'll give it another go next season. And obviously the highlight of the season, our League Cup win, our very first trophy in this Everton rebuild. Very, very exciting stuff. And hopefully we can continue to win trophies in the following seasons. Now, Manchester City have won the league title 4 years or 5 years in a row now, something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, Calvert-Lewin wins the Golden Boot 2 years in a row now, this time scoring 42 goals over his 30 goals last season, so a big improvement. The Playmaker of the Year goes to Kieran Trippier and the Player of the Year goes to Mykolenko. I don't know what's going on with this Player of the Year system, but it's favoring the Everton defenders. I think it's a little rigged, but Mykolenko must be buzzing. Now, for some reason, I can't find the Club Player of the Year. I think it's gone, but it's probably going to Calvert-Lewin anyway because he scored 42 goals this season, and I don't think any other Everton player tops that. So the board and the fans seem to be over the moon with hypes at the wheel. We finished in second this season and maintained a profit of 7.19%, which is insane because we were down minus 70% at the beginning of the season, so that's a huge increase. And obviously we completed the objective of signing 3 players aged under 22, so up until this point the objectives are looking pretty alright. In terms of our managerial stats for the season, we maintained a 74% win rate with 40 wins, 8 draws and 6 losses, which is a big improvement over our 65% win rate last season. Now, taking a look at the trophy cabinet, there it is, our very first trophy, and I'm sure we'll be filling this trophy cabinet in the following seasons to come. So overall, we've had a much improved season. We strengthened the squad, won a trophy, finished in a better league position, and did very well in the Champions League. So at this point, the only way to look is up, because next season, we're going to continue to strengthen the squad, have higher expectations, and hopefully start challenging for some major titles, which will be in the next season, which will be in the next episode, episode 3. And if you want to see episode 3, make sure you smash a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And do not forget to turn that notification bell on to never miss one of my videos. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.